the one and only Eagle.
These nuts. Hey guys, professional skater Tony Hawk here with a little bit of an update video. That's right, a little bit of an update. A lot of people tend to ask me, hey, Pig Cake, how are those cards holding up? How are you doing with those amazing Copag cards that I've heard so much about? And today I thought I'd do a little bit of a hot update video on this, as well as show you guys a little bit of a trick at the end, because that's why you guys go to my channel, right? You guys want to learn some tricks, because clearly that's the only content that gets views. But anyway, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a hot update on this, and we'll go from there. So let's get right into the video. These nuts. Whoa! So Cartamundi graciously sent me a lot of these a little while ago. They sent me about a brick of these puppies a little while ago, and let me tell you, I've used about maybe two of them. I've used two of them because they've lasted pretty long now. Me personally, when I use cards, I use them until they're pretty much black on the sides, but you could pretty much see the condition of the cards. There aren't any necessary bevels or breaks or distortions in the cards themselves. Just a little discoloration on the edge there from use because of my dirty ass hands. But I gotta tell you, the cards have held up pretty well. If you guys are of the cardistry variety, you could do all your flourishes and impress none of the ladies. You could repel all of them because you won't get any vagina doing that. But you could do all your little sleights with these cards and they're still holding up fairly well. So you could see the actual condition here. Right now you should be looking at some nice juicy B-roll of these cards, but just in terms of how they feel, they still feel the same as when you got them out of the box. You could still tell that the B9 finish has not worn off, and the cards are just as smooth now as when I initially took them out of the box a couple months ago. So these cards still hold up, and that B9 finish that Cartamundi is putting so much work into clearly stands up to the wear and tear of normal use, of shuffling the cards, of playing around with them, messing around, doing your shuffles, doing some of these riffles, doing some of these actions right here. Maybe some people like to spring the cards. Maybe they like to spring the cards the right way, the correct way, right? As I taught it on the channel. So you could even do one of these. You see that? You could do one of those hot memes. You could do one of these hot memes. So really, the deck has held up pretty well, and I don't see it tarnishing anytime soon. So if you want a long-lasting deck, again, my only issue with these cards are the thickness. Boy, she thick. So these cards are pretty significant in terms of thickness. If I were to compare it to an actual comparison that you guys might be familiar with, a bicycle deck I would refer to as the white deck, and this one I would refer to as the black deck, or the African American deck, for those of you guys that are of the PC variety. So this would be that in comparison. But yeah, definitely pick one up. I'll have a link in the description below as to where you guys could pick these up. They are definitely long lasting. They've lasted me this while, and I've pretty much been playing with these on a daily basis, almost on a consistent basis, every single day. So these cards have definitely held up. Definitely good. Definitely get my recommendation. Cartamundi, you guys are not only fairly attractive when it comes to your nationality, but you guys also know how to make a killer deck of cards. So as far as a little trick with these, because I can't just leave you with just a small little update and then I expect you guys to be satisfied, right? You guys need a little bit of a hot tutorial. So this is just a quick little trick you could do with jokers, or if you have black kings in the deck, they happen to also work well for this. So you have any card picked and selected by spectator. In this case, it's the 4 of hearts. Of course, I don't know this because the spectator doesn't show me, right? Because at this point, you could drop that line where you tell the spectator, oh, show the card to all your friends. Haha, I'm not your friend. You wouldn't have relations with me, huh? What is it, because of my skin color? You race, and then you go into a conversation about political dialect. But here, they picked the 4 of hearts. That card, of course, gets lost somewhere in the middle of the deck, never to be seen again, honestly. So that card is lost effectively somewhere in the middle, and you show the spectator that the kings are actually going to help you find this particular card. And when the spectator names the card, you're actually going to be able to find the card in an efficient and quick fashion. So the spectator names their card, and you go, okay, that's cool. You have 4 of hearts. All right, here we go. Right there. These nuts. Or whatever powder point is appropriate in your country. But if you want to repeat it, you could definitely repeat it if you happen to have a little bit of knowledge of certain sleights that allow you to repeat a trick like this. But you could tell the spectator you could do it invisibly this time. Watch. There, you see it? Did they see it invisibly? Yeah. Works a second time as well. Didn't see that coming, huh? Right, huh? Didn't see that coming, huh? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So for this trick, it's pretty simple. All you need are 2 matching cards. In this case, we're going to use the African-American kings just for the sake of diversity, right? And you have a card selected and picked. In this case, it could be any card whatsoever. While the spectator is busy looking at the 10 of clubs, you're going to do this little move right here where you get a break underneath the top card of the deck. You see that? That's the move. You could do it whatever way you want. You could push up on this corner and get a break that way. You could do the favorite of most magicians, which is push the card about an entire white man penis length and pull it back and obtain a break that way. You could do whatever you want. Honestly, it's your deck. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want. But you got a break there in preparation for the tilt or the depth illusion, depending on your historical knowledge. So you could do the tilt or the diver in depth illusion. It's up to you. But in this case, I'm going to be using the tilt, bitch. So here you have the card ready for tilt. So this card from the front, it looks like it's going in the center of the deck, right? You see that? But really, it's going second. It's going second. And you could do this little Daryl Martinez RIP touch where you pull up. You see that? So you pull up. So that card looks even more like it's going right in the center of the deck. But really, it's still going right there second from the top of the deck. So that's a nice little touch by Daryl Martinez. Look at that crediting, Jabrizi, little bitch. So here, that card is now going second from the top. And notice that I've kept a break right there. So that's simply accomplished by, as I'm pushing up, that break just stays there. So what I could do now is immediately pick up the kings and show them to be free of any sort of guile. You notice that there isn't any sort of a card between it. So you don't say that to the spectator. You just pick up the kings and say that they're actually going to help you with this particular trick. So I like to pick them up this way, and then I regrip. So I'm going to put these back on the deck and regrip so that I'm holding the cards from underneath with my right hand. The reason for this is because in a minute, what's going to happen is that I'm going to use my pinky to riffle down the edge of the deck here. So I'm going to use my pinky to riffle down the edge of the deck, and I'm going to pinch and go in there with the kings, supposedly pinching out the card that they pick. So I have them name whatever card. In this case, it's the 10 of clubs. Riffle down the edge. So I'm going to go in there, and then all I'm doing is spreading it. That's all I'm doing. But when you do the timing correctly on this particular move, it looks exactly like you just pulled that card from the center of the deck, adding more credibility to your skill base, right? They think that you're more skilled than you actually are because you're cheating. That's the point here. So you riffle down, you insert the kings anytime you want, and what you do is that when you pull away, all you're gonna do is you're gonna spread the king. That's all you're gonna do. So when you combine both those 2 actions, it looks exactly like you plucked that king out. Sorry, you plucked a card out of the deck. That's what it's gonna look like. If you want to repeat the effect, what you could do is that as you're showing this card, you get a break right there below the top card of the deck, a card that does not matter. So when you square up these cards, you lift up all the cards. So now you're lifting up 4 cards. They think that you're holding 3 cards, you're lifting up 4. Thumb off the first king, thumb off the spectator's card, and then place the king on top. So what you have now is a little bit of a hot sandwich here where their card is the bottom card and this card is on top, and it doesn't matter. So let me repeat that one more time for the people from Canada. You Canadians need a little bit more effort when it comes to explanation. So you're lifting up all 4 cards, peeling one off, peeling off the next one, and then dropping this king. Now all you're going to do at this point is you're going to pull back on this top king and push forward on this card. So what that does is that's just going to out-jog the card. So one more time, you're going to pull back on this king and push forward. So now you could take this card and insert it into the middle of the deck. You see that? But it's an X card. It doesn't matter. what that card is because it's a little bit of an X card. They think it's their card. You could push that card back in the deck and you're left in the same position. You lift up the top king, of course. Remember, that's a double. So you're lifting up a double, showing both kings, and you're in the exact same position. So if you want at this point, you could say, look, I could do it invisibly. See that? Haha. 2 times the charm. And then you could do whatever you want. But in that case, you're able to pretty much do the same trick twice in a row without them being privy to any sort of method. So that's the trick. It's a little bit of an easy one, I got to tell you. Just combining a couple classic sleights, making it seem like you have more sleight of hand prowess than you actually do. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure to check out all the stuff in the description. That usually helps out, all the fun stuff in the description. That's always a good thing when it comes to these particular videos. I'm gonna go figure out different ways to use some Garnier Fructis oil to wash away my dandruff.
Again, when I see you 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 again.